let's talk about Detroit Lions secondary, and I'm gonna get to some individual NFC North previews. Bears, those got to be done from the computer. Bears, Vikings, Packers, so they will be coming. You know, we covered NFC North as well. Also got Michigan and Texas this weekend. I'll talk about that. Not sure who Michigan State play this weekend, but I will cover that as well. Hopefully by the time you see this, we'd already done the live season preview. I'm shooting for Monday. Got the Labor Day, Tuesday. So hopefully we get that done and out the way. Excuse my language. But yeah, man, the secondary gonna take some time. You may see some struggles from the secondary. I mean, they got a very tough matchup on Sunday night versus the Los Angeles Rams. And I was doing the preview prediction video, and I looked and I said they got 3 really good receivers that's gonna challenge you vertically. Nakua and Cooper Kupp will challenge you underneath, and Demarcus Robinson, who was hot as fish grease last week. And if you really didn't do well in your fantasy draft and you need a receiver that really can give you that oomph, you know what I'm saying? Demarcus Robinson is the guy that can give you that oomph. Like, he's a big play guy. So if you missing the guy, damn, you know what? I may not have the best matchup. I need a receiver. Demarcus Robinson is a really good pickup, to be honest with you. But they're gonna be challenged. They're going to be challenged a lot. And then you got to understand, in reality, once you look at their secondary, out of the 5 status quo spots, just talking about in the nickel base, 4 of them, because you got free, strong, nickel, right, left, right corner, right? You got 5. You got You got 4 new guys back there. And I say 4 because you got to understand, Brian Branch played in the nickel last year. So now he in the back end with Kirby Joseph. So they got to form a rapport. Joseph coming off a hip injury. He coming off an ankle injury. Don't forget it. Carlton Davis had a little hamstring situation. He knew. Amick Robertson in nickel. He knew. Terrion Arnold. He coming off an injury. He knew. So what you going to see is you're going to see some blown coverages. You're going to see them get cooked a little bit, but what you want to see is them gradually put it together. Right now, yes, you want to win all the games you can right now. Most definitely you do, because down the stretch, you never know what can happen. But you want to see them gradually get better. And that secondary is probably going to get cooked Sunday. You know, and you're going to be like, damn, you know, we got all these improvements. And it's not like baseball when I can add all these different guys and I can put them together. It's really not no camaraderie. For real, you know, this is a camaraderie base, and it seemed like they a tight-knit group. Obviously, they got the cavalry to come in if they have an issue. I have video coming about Melifanu, you know, Ennis Rackstraw. I love that Khalil Dorsey guy. I like him a lot. Glad he made the team. Don't forget you got Branch that can come down and slide and play nickel. Don't forget you got Amick that can slide and play both outside spots. So, and Emmanuel Mosley at some point possibly could come back. Not sure, you know, if he will. But nonetheless, you got the cavalry coming. You know what I'm saying? You got guys out there. And F.A. Melifano, if he healthy, guess what? He could play nickel. He can be the best corner on your team. We didn't see him shut down Devontae Adams. He can play the other nickel. He could play free. He could play strong. So you got a lot of flexibility back there. But you got a lot of guys that's not familiar with each other back there neither. And when you playing with that back end, they got to gel. They got to communicate, even if you playing man-to-man coverage. Because once they do these motion routes, okay, you know, when I switch, do I take the inside? Do you take the outside? And when it comes to zone, it'd be a little bit tougher, too, when you come to playing zone. Like, when you're talking about man-to-man, it's not that difficult. You know what I'm saying? Because man-to-man, you following the receiver. You following the tight end. You know, of course, you're going to mix most of the time, you're going to mix zone in there, single high, 2 high, robber, you know what I'm saying? But in that zone, you know, who your responsibility is key. If you the single high safety in the cover 3, you really can't afford to bite down. Because if you bite down and they do a post, you know, it's a wrap. That's a touchdown. You know, if you in a cover 2, you know, you in the corner, you in that flat, you jamming and you passing off, and guess what? That linebacker or that nickel back ain't there, or the DB in general, or if the safety bite, it's a wrap. That could be 6. So zone coverage is probably gonna be a little bit tougher than but man to man too. On the switches and all that type of stuff. Your responsibility. I thought you had me over the top. I thought you was robbing for the you know, the deep post. All them type of stuff. So those are things you're gonna see that's gonna be blown coverages. But the one thing they gotta pride themselves on, if you're gonna blow some coverages, tackle. Don't let blown coverages turn into touchdowns, yak touchdowns, tackle. They gotta tackle. And then we didn't even talk about the other side of the game where the front end and the back end work together. Now there's some newcomers in the front end as well too, but not a lot of newcomers. You know, DJ Reader, honestly, Levi Onwuzurike, he's a newcomer to the front. So Marcus Davenport. So the one position that's still intact are the linebackers. You know, but for the most part, the front end and the back end is pretty much still the same. I forgot who was the starting D tackle last year with Liam McNeil. Who was it? That's a great question. I don't remember who it was. But now, you know, you bring in DJ Reader, you bring back Onwuzurike, who gonna play in and defense tackle. You got Davenport, who ain't gonna stay healthy. We know that. So, you know, get Houston back. Hopefully he get 100% healthy. You lose Kaminsky, but you got Aiden Hutchinson, Josh Pascal. As long as Mr. Glass can stay healthy, he really missed the glass out there. So you got to remember the back end got to work with the front. If the front don't get the pressure, the back end, you know, especially when you not being able to be as hands-on with these defenders as you used to, the back end gonna get a lot of scrutiny. So if they can generate some pressure up the front, last year they did a great job of generating pressure, you know, and getting creative. You know, Aaron Glenn was very creative in a way, especially Luz Melifano was one of the best blitzers that I seen in a minute. You didn't know if he was coming, he was going. No, did he? So yeah, that back end gonna take a minute, especially if that front end ain't up to par. If they not getting pressure up front, they gonna get cooked. Now, if they can get pressure up front with they forward, which DJ Reader is really not a guy that's gonna help with that. That'll be more on Onwuzurike in the middle and Liam McNeil. But if they can get pressure with 4, the back end can be afforded a little bit of issues. But right around week 8, 9, 10, you probably gonna see it all come together. Like you put the macaroni in together, you know, you put the butter, the pepper, the salt, whatever else you do. If you do a little custard for the macaroni, put all that in there, cheese and all that, and you bake it. You know what I'm saying? So you see it all started coming together. So, you know, in my humble opinion, the secondary might suffer a little bit. So, you know, don't be surprised if they do. But it's not gonna be cause for panic unless it's injuries. It's gonna be a lot of these guys had injuries. And a lot of these guys got to gel together. So now we're going to see them start. This is going to be their journey. They shouldn't be at their pinnacle week 1. So right around the mid-season point, you should see it all start to come together, start getting the oven, start baking. But you got a guy, Carlton Davis, that's playing for his bag. So, you know, the knock on him is he has some lapses. He might get beat here and there. So we'll see in the injuries. But, hey, check out Detroit Lions Talk playlist. Hit the link tree. Find me on X, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, the whole 9. Appreciate the love and support. Check out Detroit Lions Talk playlist. Peace.